G'day, welcome to I Cultivate. My name's Steve. Today we're going to be having a look at some of those really simple and easy and importantly lightweight jobs that I'm going to do around our garden today. I thought you might find that interesting. So please hang around for that. But before we get into that, I thought I should explain that the reason why we have been pretty quiet recently is because I've had a few health issues that I've been dealing with, but without boring you with the details, it has meant that I've been knocked out of action now for a few months, and I've still got a couple of months to go before they've told me I can get back into it. All things are really going well. There's nothing for me or my family to worry about, so all will be good, but I do have to still take a few months to go a bit easy, hence the topic of today's video. So let's get in and have a look at some of those lightweight jobs that I'm going to do today around our garden. So this is the first thing that I've noticed that I can easily get into. These agapanthus flowers are spent and they're in the process of going to seed. Now, agapanthus has the potential to be quite invasive in a number of countries, including here in Australia. So what we don't want is to allow these to go to seed because they do easily spread. The only exception to that is if you do want to actually collect the seeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these spent flowers. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave me with that beautiful lush green agapanthus foliage. That is one of the reasons why I love this plant. The flowers are of course the other reason, but now that the flowers are spent, it's time to remove the seed pods that are starting to form. Hey, we've just made available this new range of botanical themed merchandise. We'd really love to hear what you think about it. There's a link just down below. Okay, so that's the first of these simple lightweight jobs completed. Agapanthus are a plant that I really love, but as I mentioned before, they can be a bit invasive if you don't do the right thing by them in a number of countries. However, there are also other jobs that absolutely do need to be done with agapanthus, but at the moment those things are a bit heavy for me. I'll put a link above me right now, and that will take you to a previous video that looks at caring for agapanthus. So let's now move on to the next job. I absolutely love these rosemary bushes that we planted here probably about 5 years ago, but rosemary is something that does need some maintenance from time to time because it can become quite woody and brittle if you just allow it to grow without some periodic maintenance. In this particular example, there's always some reluctance to actually prune it back because you can get these beautiful sprigs of rosemary that are very useful in cooking and numerous other applications. But if we want this plant to remain healthy long term, we do really need to give it a little bit of a prune, usually back about 1/3, and that will ensure that this rosemary will be good for another year or two. So let's get into that job. So there we have it, another one of the lightweight simple jobs completed, a job that needed to be done. But before I finish off on the rosemary, just a couple of little hints. As you can see, rosemary can be used as a beautiful scented or provides a wonderful aroma hedging plant. It can produce really nice compact hedges around properties, so it's something to consider. One other thing is all of these prunings that you can see here, if you happen to have chickens, don't just put them into the compost, add them to your chicken coop, because there's some suggestion that the rosemary can help to minimise things like mites in your chicken coop. And even if it does nothing else, it certainly adds to that smell, that aroma, the scent that you get when you walk into the chicken coop. Certainly the smell of rosemary is something a bit sweeter to smell when you walk into your chicken coop. So let's now move on to the next job that I have in mind around our property that is simple. We're lucky enough to have quite a few camellias on our property, probably 50 to 60 different plants in total, and we would have probably 4 or 5 different varieties amongst that. But with camellias comes regular pruning. And I can remember in a previous video where I got absolutely hammered by some of the viewers over the way in which I pruned it. I often, or in fact I usually prune using an electric hedger. But you know, the reason why I do that is because firstly, the number of camellias we have, and secondly, it really does a good job. So don't listen to those naysayers. Pruning camellias with an electric hedger can be quite good. You just need to, like with all pruning, you need to make sure that you have your pruners clean, and you need to make sure that they're sharp. I mean, obviously you don't use dirty and blunt instruments for any pruning. In this instance though, I'm going to use your more standard hedges, and we'll go from here. These shears will do the job really well. In this instance, you can see here, this is why this is just a simple, easy task. It just needs a bit of shaping. A few of those extra growths off the top need to be brought back into a line, and we just give it a bit of a tidy up, and this is something I can easily do right now. As you can hear, we've got a little bit of weather starting to develop around here. I'm not sure how much longer I can do this for. We'll see. And there we go, another small job completed. This camellia's had a little bit of a haircut, just a small touch up, nothing too drastic. I actually find that most of the time it's better to do a little bit more often than a major prune once a year, for example. But it just depends on how you approach it, I guess. For me, it works, and we've got a lot of camellias on this property. Now on to the next job. As you can see, it's a bit of a dull and dreary day, bit of mist, bit of rain. It's all making it the type of day where I think what we might be doing is actually mainly doing a little bit of quiet maintenance on some of our garden tools. So it certainly is one of those sorts of days where we can get the little easy jobs done. So apart from those outside jobs that are easy to do, this is one of the inside ones. You can see we have this hedger, and I'm going to just little quick maintenance. It's very clean, but of course we can always add a little bit of oil just to make sure that the cutting blades really stay well lubricated and in good condition in the long term. So I've got a little bit of machine oil here, so really fine grade machine oil. I'm just going to add a little bit along the cutting blades. Just turn that over. Give it a little bit of a work in. And just doing this sort of thing will keep this sort of machinery in good condition for the long haul. If you just let it sit there and you don't do these little things, you will find you will not get anywhere near the same sort of life out of them. Lastly, with these electric hedges, don't forget to put the cover back on them that's provided. This also helps to protect the condition of the blades in the long term. It's a simple thing to forget to put that on, so don't. Make sure you use it. Here's another one of those really simple things. The handle of this rake broke, so therefore I'm just going to replace it. I have an old handle here. I don't tend to throw these sorts of things out. I always keep them. They always seem to have a use at some stage in the future. So I'm just going to take this old broken handle off. There we go. That bit could probably go in the bin. And then I have this old handle, which I've kept, and I'm just going to use this to replace that broken one. But one little hint. You can see that it's very dull. It obviously has not absorbed any oil in any time in the recent history, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a touch up with some linseed oil. So I'm just going to wipe over some linseed oil, and I'll put that in the area where it's going to be covered as well, and that hopefully will extend its life. And then I'm just going to give that a wipe over the handle. In the handle now goes into the old rake. Just a little hint, often people will use electric screwdrivers, impact drills and so on for doing this sort of work. I'd recommend you don't. The reason is because they can often over tighten and in the end actually break the screw or the tool in this particular instance. I'm just going to give the rest of the handle a bit of an oil now. And there we go. A perfectly good rake, and I hope that we will get a few more years out of that. I'm sure some people might have better ways of doing this, and I really would welcome some ideas in the comments down below. But seriously, I mean, what I've just done will mean that something that might have otherwise ended up in landfill is actually going to get at least a few more years of life. Now, in a previous section of this particular video, you saw me using these hedging shears, and you know, they're starting to get a little bit ordinary when it comes to the edge. And so on this really dull and dreary day where it's not very pleasant being outside, it's a good opportunity really to give these a bit of a tidy up as well. So this is another job that we can do. Now, let's just have a look at what I'm going to do. Firstly, I'm going to take out the central locking nut to pull the shears into two sections. I'm then going to give them a clean, because what happens with these shears is they accumulate a fair bit of the resin and the sap from the plants that you're using them to prune on the blade, and that blade can have an impact on the actual metal in the blade itself. So I'm going to give that a good clean up. Then I'll give the blades themselves a bit of a sharpen, and then finally I will give it a treatment with some machine oil again. Some of you might have a better idea as to what type of oil, so down in the comments please, if you've got better ideas, I'd appreciate that. But certainly I will give them a treatment with machine oil before I put them all back together again, and I do know that I'm going to get quite some more months out of these before I have to go through the process again. So let's now pull them apart and give them the clean up that I just described. Okay, so firstly you can see the locking nut in the middle here. Then we should be able to remove that central washer. There we go. And now the blades should be able to be worked apart. And there we have. Now the two blades separated. Now this nut here will come out, and you'll notice that it is appropriately shaped so that it actually will lock into the other blade on the other side. So that's worth remembering the way in which that works. So I'll just put them aside. Now what I'm going to do is give these a bit of a clean up to remove the resins. To do that I am actually going to use a wire brush and a drill. However, a piece of wet and dry paper, or even sandpaper, or some other steel wool perhaps, all of these will work just as well. Again, if you have any ideas, put them down in the comments. So now we've got some blades that are reasonably clean. I'm just going to give them a wipe over now. Okay, so now I'm going to give each of these a bit of a clean down with a bit of white spirit. The only reason I'm doing this is just to remove any residual powder, dust and so on from the blade. And with that done, now what I'm going to do is reassemble each of these. Actually, before reassembling, we need to put a bit of an edge onto the blades. I have a oil stone here, and we will just give... Of course, you might want to use a grinder if the edge is a lot worse than this, just to make sure you get that nice edge to your blades. And there we have it, another one of those simple jobs that needs to be done from time to time, so why not make the most of a miserable rainy day outside to get these sorts of jobs done. This is yet another one of those really simple, not so much a heavy job to do, and in the weather that we have now where it's raining, it's something that you might like to also to consider, because in this rainy weather, this is when that horrible task of weeding becomes a lot easier. This area here is an area that for quite a long time I've been looking at and thinking, you know, I've really got to get this weeded. Well, today is the day. It's simple, it's also wet, and so therefore will be easy. So let's have a look. Look how easy these come out in this wet weather. So there we have it. This whole area here has now been weeded, and really quite quickly due to the softness of the soil that it was in, with the weather having made it quite a lot easier to pull out those weeds from what was now soft soil. So consider getting your weeding done when the weather is not so good. I mean, let's face it, you probably don't want to be doing other gardening at that time, so hey, get in and get the weeding done. Now during this video I've shown you just a few simple ideas of light work type things that we could get done when we're not really feeling up to, or we don't feel like just simply doing those heavier work things in the garden. So I hope you found those things or those ideas useful, or at least have stimulated your thinking when it comes to, well, if I'm not really feeling like doing some heavy work, what might I be able to do instead? So I hope that it's given you some ideas. Now I hope you have enjoyed this video, so can I ask you please to go down to the thumbs up and give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel, and go to our website icultivate.net and become a member of the community. Thanks for watching.